Good morning, everybody. Welcome to MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick with the Cusick Group, and this is the overnight action report right here live at MarketStream. So I want to welcome you this fine Thursday morning. It is actually the 25th of May, and I know all day yesterday I was saying it was the 25th. I was wrong, but hey, looks like the bulls on parade continued overnight in the global markets. We see that the Japanese market, and that's where we're going to kick off looking at Asia, the Japanese market continued to move to the upside, up almost 0.4 of a point at 0.36%. It's good for 70 points on the Nikkei at 19,813. What's notable here, though, is a couple things. You're starting to see that this grind here is weighing a little bit on the market. Tighter ranges, very similar to what we're seeing in the U.S. markets, as well as the German and French markets. The Nikkei right now had some interesting action last night where actually what was driving the upside, the catalyst, towards the end of the session were the counter-cyclical names like utilities, that have yield to it. So very interesting action. We've seen that action here in the States. We talked about this late last week and early this week, where we were seeing that utilities were running to the upside. As a matter of fact, when the market was muted, utilities were leading. That's not usually an indicator of confidence. That's usually an indicator that more conservative investors are looking for equities that have higher yield. And we're seeing the Japanese markets having some similar action with the utility sector moving and guiding the bulls to the upside. I'm not saying that's bearish. What I'm saying is that the yield hounds, the individuals and groups that are looking for dividends and yield, are looking at utility stocks, and that gives us a little bit of pause at this juncture on the move. What is also catalyzing the market is the Japanese yen. We're taking a look at the yen future right now. You can see that it popped a couple days ago, and it's basically just been grinding. If you don't have access to the futures, you can take a look at FXY. This is an ETF that tracks the Japanese yen, and you can see that it's a little bit challenged right now. It's right at that 20 and 50-day moving average. For you new viewers, they use the 20 and 50-day moving average. It's just context of who's in control. If you see that these bars are trading above the red line and the green line, that's the 50-day, the red line, the 20-day is the green line. If they're trading above that, that means that the bulls, the longs, the individuals that want to see some upside appreciation in that underlying asset, they're in control. Right now, it's a little bit mixed. The bulls have been in control as of late, but they're grinding, and the battle is beginning in the yen. The yen weakness is going to start to weigh on the on fixed income markets and things of that nature. That's why you could see the utilities actually kicking up, because if they're looking for yield, the utilities are going to be where it's at. Taking a look at the Shanghai Composite, basically a nice move to the upside after what's been a grind here in this range of between 3,040 and 3,100. We saw that it broke above its 20-day moving average overnight. That's positive for the Chinese markets. As we noted, the Chinese markets, mainland China, the Shanghai Composite, has been under pressure as of late. With that being said, and the Shanghai Composite under pressure, we're looking for opportunity, because after Moody's came out with a downgrade from A1 to AA3, yes, there's been concerns about the fact that the property markets might be too hot, or in the securities markets, there's individuals that might be a little bit over leveraged. But we saw that the PBOC, the People's Bank of China, and the regulators in China were getting ahead of this months ago. If you go back and take a look at the overnight action report, I had already been talking about the fact that there was concerns that internal controls were starting to tighten up, both on the property side as well as in the security side. And the market had been grinding and pulling back. Now you see that the bulls are starting to grab hold here. They're above the 20-day moving average overnight. Let's see how they finish up the week. We're going to watch the overnight session very closely going into this long weekend. Could be some interesting action, especially now that the president's wrapping up his whirlwind tour of the Middle East and Europe, and meeting with the G7 in Europe as well. What was moving in the Chinese markets? Industrials and tech. Moving to the upside, that was the real catalyst. We'll watch that one closely. Taking a look at the Hang Seng. Hang Seng was up 200 points. That's good for 0.8%. Again, this has been moving to the upside all year. The bulls have clearly been control in Hong Kong. There is a little bit more of a property play there as well as gaming. Hong Kong hit a new high for 2017 overnight. Finance and property names continue to be the driver in Hong Kong, where the mainland markets, the Shanghai Composite has been lagging. Hong Kong has been picking up, and that's where there's a lot of money being worked as far as China is concerned. We're going to watch that very closely. The bulls are clearly in control at this juncture. We saw the Indian Sensex. We had said that there's just been very little of a catalyst for the bulls on what has been an impressive move, a very deliberate grinding move in India. They have now hit a new record high on the Sensex last night. The high last night, I believe, if I look at this, the high was 30,793.43. It finished at 30,750. That's good for 400 points to the upside. As a matter of fact, that's 1.48%. It's been an impressive move in India. The bulls are clearly in control. You saw that banks, financials are clearly running to the upside in India. And this particular segment of the Asian markets, the Indian markets, have been red hot. And we're going to see if that continues and catalyzes into the week's end. All right, folks, that's it for the overnight action report in Asia. Join me at 8:45 Eastern, 7:45 Central here at MarketStream.live. I'm going to be talking about everything that's going on in Europe. See you here at MarketStream.live.